Lewis ahead by just 53 points.
Denise Lewis is the Olympic champion. She's got it.
To the delight of thousands of British supporters, Denise Lewis crowned the night of her life with a lap of honour around Sydney's Olympic Stadium.
I just don't know what to say. It's been a battlefield for me out there. Every event was really uphill. So I'm really thankful and honoured that I made it through as champion. That's all I can say.
One woman knew exactly how she felt. 28 years ago in Munich, Mary Peters went through the same weight with the same glorious outcome, and she was in Sydney to share Denise Lewis's achievement.
I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm still shaking all over with emotion. Denise, we're all proud of you. I was with all the Union Jacks on the far side, and they raised my performance 28 years ago, and I know you were born a week after I won my gold medal, and now it's your turn tonight, and I'm really, really happy that I was here to share the joy with you.
Denise Lewis becomes the 6th British woman to win the ultimate accolade of Olympic champion, but she's the first to light up the Olympics with a smile as wide as the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Denise Lewis's triumph rounded off another golden day for Britain at these games. Cycling, shooting, rowing, and now athletics have all struck gold for Team Great Britain. Neil Bennett, BBC News, at the Olympic Stadium in Sydney.
And Denise Lewis wasn't the only British success story in Sydney today. Following Steve Redgrave's historic victory as part of the Costas Fours yesterday, the men's 8 won another rowing gold medal, while the women's quadruple sculls took silver. Britain has already matched its total of 15 medals won in Atlanta 4 years ago, and the games are only halfway through. The current tally is 5 golds, 7 silvers and 3 bronze.
A triumphant Olympic regatta for Britain's rowers reached a climax with the very last race. The men's 8 took control from the start, even though they weren't the favourites. That label had been pinned on the Australian crew, who beat Britain in the heat. Roared on by thousands of supporters, they staged a late charge, but Britain held on to win for the first time in the 8s since the 1912 games.
But it's goal! Goal for Great Britain!
Among those enjoying this latest rowing success were Matthew Pinsent, who took his 3rd Olympic gold yesterday in the Coxless 4, and Steve Redgrave, the 5 times Olympic champion.
It was as simple as the fact that they were there, we were there, we were looking each other in the eye, and they blinked first.
The women's quadruple scullers achieved what no British women rowers had done before, win a medal at an Olympics. They produced a dramatic surge at the end to take the silver from the Russian crew by just 1/100th of a second. On the track, Britain's world record holder Colin Jackson cruised through the first 2 rounds of the 110 metres hurdles, while Catherine Merry will be relishing the prospect of a confrontation with Australia's Cathy Freeman in the final of the 400 metres. There's every likelihood of further British medal success tomorrow, not just from Jackson and Merry, but also from Jonathan Edwards in the triple jump. Paul Newman, BBC News, at the Sydney Olympics.
At the height of the Kosovo War, Tony Blair said he was committed to forcing President Milosevic to step down. 18 months later, it's polling day in Yugoslavia, and Mr. Milosevic is still in power, trying to win re-election. Both the Yugoslav government and the opposition are accusing each other of trying to fix the outcome, and independent monitors say the poll is a complete mess.
There's little doubt who he's voting for. Slobodan Milosevic and his wife were among the first people to cast their ballots this morning. He wants another 4 years as Yugoslav president. She's hoping for a seat in the federal parliament. Most people here see these elections as a referendum on the past 10 years of Milosevic's rule. It's been 10 years of war and economic hardship, but still he's held on to power. Many in the West thought the bombing of Yugoslavia last year would finish Mr. Milosevic off. His troops were defeated in Kosovo, while NATO airstrikes destroyed bridges, factories and oil refineries. Many people in Yugoslavia blamed Mr. Milosevic, but they couldn't see any alternative to his leadership. Now they can, and his name is Vojislav Koštunica. The opposition candidate in these elections has become an unlikely media star. He's not a charismatic leader, but for many ordinary people, he embodies their hopes for change.
The government knows it's going to lose, because the people are no longer afraid. Now they are going to do what previously they could only dream about.
So the opposition thinks it's captured the popular mood, and it expects the results to tell the same story. But Slobodan Milosevic is not the kind to give in without a fight. Supporters of President Milosevic are building this stage behind me for what they plan to be a victory rally. But there's one slight problem. The opposition is also planning to hold a rally here at the same time. There could be trouble. Jackie Rowland, BBC News, Belgrade.
British Aerospace is to create 1,700 jobs in North Wales. BAE Systems will expand its factory at Broughton in Flintshire with the help of a £19.5 million grant from the Welsh Assembly. It's hoped to build the wings for the new A3XX Airbus there. The factory currently employs 3,000 workers. There have been more protests calling for the cancellation of third world debt at the International Monetary Fund summit in Prague. A large number of protesters from England joined a mock funeral march through the centre of Prague. It's aimed to highlight the number of children who die in the third world each year because countries spend more on financing their debt repayments than on healthcare. 2 German balloonists are safe and well after being blown off course while flying across the North Sea. They had to be escorted down by 2 RAF helicopters in Scotland. The pair from Marl in Germany set off on Friday as part of a club endurance competition, but got into trouble after 20 hours and were forced to crash land at Carnoustie near Dundee.
A close inspection of their balloon reveals that despite the ditching drama in the early hours of this morning, their equipment is still intact. Heinrich Brachbendorf and Peter Whitman have been taking part in a competition with other ballooning enthusiasts to see which team could reach the UK. They left Germany on Friday morning, but with no set flight path and a strong wind forcing them on, they travelled much further than they expected, ending up on an MOD firing range north of Dundee.
Conditions were not bad, I think. For the wind we had first, it turned a little. It was stronger than we expected it to be. So we reached Great Britain earlier than we should reach it. We intended to land in the morning hours after sunrise, of course.
The balloon had been tracked by the RAF after being picked up by military radar, but when the weather worsened, a decision was taken to bring them down.
The helicopter had actually shadowed them for some 2.5 hours to try and find an area safe for them to land. If they had proceeded in the direction they were going and hadn't landed, they may well have come across the hills, the 4,000 feet hills in the area they were travelling, and it may well have been a different situation altogether.
The pair are preparing to return to Germany by ferry, but they travel home secure in the knowledge that at least they won their competition. Carol Jones, BBC News, Glasgow.
Now back to the main news, the start of the Labour Party conference in Brighton. From there I'm joined by our political editor, Andrew Marr. Andrew, Tony Blair says pensions are his top priority. How much activity is there on that front?
Well, that's certainly something that the rest of the conference agrees with him about. Conferences exist on 2 levels most of the time. There's all the things happening on the floor, stage managed, often predictable. Behind the scenes, constant negotiations. We've seen trade union leaders in huddles with people from Number 10, and I think everybody believes there will be a deal at the end of this conference. One union official said to me, if we come out of this conference without being able to say to pensioners that they will get all of them a substantial, meaningful increase in their pension in April, then frankly, disaster. Then we're in